Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a couple of my favorite Christmas DIYs. So stick around and I hope you guys enjoy this video. So our first DIY project is these bells that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. You're going to need 3 bells and you're also going to need some nautical rope. So the first thing I did here was get the bells, and I took off the little ribbon and the little plastic trees that I had on there. You're gonna need all 3 bells to be plain. I also took off the ring that was on top attached to the bells. I gave each bell a coat of gold paint, and then I went ahead, got some black chalk paint, and I started dabbing that on. I used a sponge brush instead of a regular paintbrush just because I wanted to give it a more bronze look. Once that was dry and I had the desired look, I went ahead, attached the rings, and then I got my nautical rope and I went ahead and I looped it on the first one. So for the next 2 bells, I just attached them on the rope. I left a little bit of space in between each of them because I wanted them to hang. I think these bells came out amazing. So our next project was something that I just went in without any plans. I had some popsicle sticks, so what I did, I lined them up maybe like 15 to 20. I did make 3 different trees. All 3 different in size, and then I attached a wooden star to the top. So I went in with a little bit of brown paint and I coated all 3 of these trees with paint. Then I got some twine and the stem of the tree I covered in that. To be honest, I didn't like how the trees looked, so what I did was I went in with some green paint and then I painted one tree green. I also decided to leave one tree brown. So on my third tree, I got some bright red paint and I covered that tree in red. And I actually liked the way the brown, the green, and the red looked. So I had this faux snow, these little balls that I picked up at Dollar Tree. And then I had these clear ornaments from last year that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. So I filled each little ornament with that faux snow. And I went ahead and attached 4 of those ornaments to my base of my Christmas trees. And to give it a little extra, I added a little greenery, and this is the finished product. I actually love the way these trees came out. Our next DIY project is this Santa sleigh. So I picked up this red plastic Santa sleigh bin from the Dollar Tree. I had some red paint, so I went ahead and I painted the sleigh. I did have to do a couple of coats just to cover the Merry Christmas, but I believe after like the 3rd one, the sleigh was completely covered. I also picked up this wooden sled. I seen this at the store and I had an idea to put both of them together. I painted the sled black. Once both pieces were together, I got some hot glue and I attached the two together. Later on in the video, you are going to see that the way it is glued now is not the way that it stayed at the end. After looking at it a couple of times, it just didn't look right. So I filled the bottom with some plastic bags, and then I picked up this floral reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree, and I stuffed our little sled with that. I also picked up this 3-pack of Christmas trees and this giant gift ornament. I also added a couple of these bottle brush trees. And then this is our finished product. I think it came out really cute. Next, we're going to be decorating my tier tray. I really didn't have any plans for this tier tray. I just had a bunch of ornaments and little things that I bought a couple of months ago, and I just added them to this tier tray. So the lights I picked up at Dollar Tree. Most of these are either ornaments or tier tray accessories that I picked up at Target this year. So most of the things that you see on this tier tray I did pick up from Target from the dollar spot this year. To fill up the spots that I felt were a little empty, I just went ahead and added a little greenery. These are pine picks that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. Our next DIY project is this ornament wreath that I seen on Pottery Barn's website. It was kind of expensive and I knew that I can do it. I just picked up a bunch of different ornament balls from Hobby Lobby, Walmart, and the Dollar Tree. So the ring that I am attaching the ornaments to, I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I just went ahead and started gluing different size balls around the whole wreath. So I started adding more and more ornaments around the wreath until I felt it had the desired look that I was going for. By the time I was done with this wreath, I was so surprised at how nice and expensive it looked. Our next DIY is this Merry Marquee sign from Pottery Barn. I picked up a foam board and also some thick white construction paper. I went ahead and cut out the Merry sign And then my next step was taking painter's tape and making stripes across the foam board. I painted it with a couple coats of bright red paint. And then I also gave my Mary sign a couple of coats of white paint. To give this foam board a more square look, I went ahead and attached some foam board pieces around. I attached each of my letters to my foam board and then drilled some holes to it. For the lights, I picked up a pack of mini bulb lights from Target, and then I went ahead and just attached them to my sign. For the next project, I had this idea of doing a oversized reindeer cutout. I went ahead and I mirrored my phone to my TV, and then I traced out a picture of a reindeer. I attached a couple of pieces of paper together and lightly traced it. I went ahead and cut out my reindeer, and then I placed it over my foam board. Once I traced my reindeer to my foam board, I went in with a blade and I cut out my reindeer. This wrapping paper I picked up at the dollar spot at Target. I placed my reindeer on top of my foam board and did a cutout on that. Applying it with some Mod Podge, I covered the whole entire reindeer. I got the wrapping paper, cut it up into little pieces, and then I just attached that to the top. Just to give it a nice layered effect. I didn't like the way just the one sheet of wrapping paper looked. For the antlers, I covered them in Mod Podge and then some gold glitter. For my base, I got a piece of wood and some sticks, and then I stuck that together to have the reindeer standing up. For my antlers, I attached them to my reindeer with a popsicle stick, and then this is the finished product. For our next project, I wanted to add a garland to my fireplace. I picked up these beads from the dollar store, and then I started feeding that through to a piece of twine. Once my beads were attached, I got some bright red paint and I gave the beads a couple of coats of that. I had these wooden Christmas trees that I picked up at the dollar store. I painted my trees red also, the same color as the beads. So once my beads were dry, I went ahead and fed them through another piece of twine. Got a little bit of hot glue and attached each of my trees to my garland. Our next project is another Pottery Barn dupe. So I picked up a pack of these 3 LED candles from Hobby Lobby, and then I picked up some red glittery ribbon from the dollar store. So with some tacky glue, I went ahead and attached my ribbon to each candle. So I did it in little stripes. You do not want to use hot glue, obviously, because that would melt your candles. Once my candles were dried, I went ahead and got a pair of scissors and just clipped the ends on each candle. For what I spent on these candles and the material, I think they look really close to the Pottery Barn candles. Our next DIY project is these giant bells. So I picked up 4 plastic bowls from the Dollar Tree. I went ahead and applied a little bit of E6000 to the rim of the bowls and attached them together. To secure them a little bit, I just placed a little bit of tape until they dried. Off camera, I went ahead and I made 2 of these bowls. Once my glue was dried, I went ahead and grabbed some black acrylic paint and I started giving these bowls a couple of layers of black paint. You want enough layers to cover the bowls completely where you cannot see through them. Once that black paint was dry, I went in with some gold paint and a sponge brush and I just started brushing on the gold paint. I wanted to give these bells a bronze look also. For some added detail, I went ahead and just drew on these, I don't know what they're called, they're like holes that you find on the bottom of the bowls. So I went ahead and did that to all 4 sides of the bottom of the bowls. Once my gold paint was dry, I went ahead and added a layer of black. So I just went ahead and added black on top of gold, and I did that until I felt that it had the look that I was going for. For the top of these bells, I grabbed some nautical rope and I just wanted it to have like the look of a handle. Next, I attached those bows that I made earlier to each of my bells. For a little extra touch, I added some greenery and some berries, and then I felt like these were perfect.